We are still talking about the mass flow theory, and we said that it's divided into three phases. We talked about the first phase. The second phase is the mass flow of sucrose through the sieve tube elements. Every time we say mass flow, we mean the bulk movement of a substance through a channel or an area. So the mass flow of sucrose takes place as follows. So after sucrose is actively transported into the sieve tubes, we will have a lower water potential in the sieve tubes, and the xylem will have a higher water potential. So, as a result, water will move from the xylem into the sieve tubes by osmosis. And this movement into the sieve tubes will create a hydrostatic pressure within the sieve tubes. And at the same time, at the sink or the destination of the sucrose, there is a need for sucrose because these cells respire and use up sucrose a lot, and they always have a low amount of sucrose and they are in need of sucrose. So they have a low sucrose content and we have a concentration gradient. So sucrose is transported from the sieve tubes into these cells, and so suddenly we have a low water potential at these cells. Because we lowered this water potential, water will follow suit and it will move into these respiring cells by osmosis. Because we are losing water now from the sieve tubes due to osmosis, the hydrostatic pressure of the sieve tubes is lowered. And so again, we will have water move into the sieve tubes by osmosis from the xylem. And so we have water entering the sieve tubes at the source and water leaving at the sink, which means we now have a high hydrostatic pressure at the source and a low hydrostatic pressure at the sink. We created a pressure gradient, and so now we have a mass flow of sucrose down this hydrostatic gradient in the sieve tubes. This is how we established the mass flow of sucrose in the sieve tubes. So mass flow is a passive process. However, it has been occurring as a result of the active transport of sugars. So as a whole, it is an active process, and it is affected by things like temperature and metabolic poisons. And finally, phase 3 is the transfer of sucrose from the sieve tube elements to the sink. This is an active transport process whereby companion cells help. Sucrose is moved out of the sieve tubes and into the sink cells, and this is how we transport organic substances in the phloem.